Hello book lovers, and welcome to or welcome back to Nat Cat's Bookish Cafe. Today I will be going through 5 books that I predict I will give 5 stars to. So I actually struggle a lot with picking books that I think will be 5 stars. Even if I'm really highly anticipating a book, or the book is intriguing to me, or even if I've loved the author in the past, I for some reason have trouble saying yes, this book is going to be 5 stars. I will probably have a much easier time doing like a 4-star prediction video than a 5-star prediction. I think I like to go in with like slightly lower expectations just to decrease my chances of being disappointed. But someone that I follow on Instagram tagged me in a photo to do 5-star predictions, so I figured I'd do 2 birds, 1 stone, and go ahead and do that Instagram post, but also turn it into a video. So I have 5 books here that I'm hoping will be 5 stars. So hopefully I get to these relatively soon so that I can come back to this video and see if my projections were correct. So the first book I'm selecting is The Witch King by H.E. Hedgeman. I believe this is an Indigenous author, and we're following a trans character. This is a book that has been on my TBR for quite a while. I keep putting it off for some unknown reason. I always seem to buy books I'm excited for, and then they kind of wallow on my shelf for like a year or more. But we're following our main character. Let me look up their name because I totally do not know. Aslan. Nope, that's the name of Aslan is the name of where this book takes place. Wyatt. Okay, so we have Wyatt here, and Wyatt was to marry his best friend, who I believe is this horned fellow right here, who is the Fey Prince, and Wyatt himself is a witch. And I believe Wyatt has like some sort of accident with his magic and decides to escape to the human realm, and his fiance follows him in order to get him to come back. It seems like this is kind of going to be like a best friends to enemies to lovers kind of situation. One of the reasons I picked up this book was because someone had posted a scene from this, one of those dagger to the throat scenes. So I feel like this book is definitely up my alley. It's queer, it's, fantasy. I do like friends to lovers and enemies to lovers, and this seems to be kind of both. So I think it has, all the qualities that I would need a 5-star book to have. I also know that book 2 has recently come out, so if I love it, I can go ahead and jump into book 2 as well. All right, so the next book I have is from an author that I have read and really enjoyed. This book is going to look ginormous, but it is a bind up of the entire trilogy. So we are just talking about book 1. So this is called the Inheritance Trilogy. It's by N.K. Jemisin. So 100,000 Kingdoms is book 1, so that's the one that I'm basing this off of, but hopefully, I give every book in this trilogy 5 stars. I don't know much about this book. I've heard really good things about it. I think there's a romance in here that people really like. There's a lot of characters in here that people really enjoy. I believe it involves gods, which is always a really interesting concept. I know that I really like N.K. Jemisin's world building and her politics and her writing. So even though I don't know too much about the story, I do have really high expectations from her just based off what I've read from her, which is just her Dream Blood duology, and of course all the positives that I've heard from other people. I'm going into this series relatively blind. I feel like I know enough about it, so I'm looking forward to just going in and enjoying the ride. So the next book is a fantasy romance that I've heard incredible things about. This book seems to be a favorite for many people, and that is Radiance by Grace Draven. This is, I guess, technically a monster romance. My ring light is like, whoop, let's make it not show. And we are following a human girl who is being married to a prince. I think she's a princess as well, but they're, you know, pretty far down the line that they're like not important enough, but they still want, you know, some sort of political connection between the families. They are different species. He is some sort of monster, and so they both find each other really ugly, and so they're like, I don't want to marry you, but you know, you got to do what you gotta do. And then I think they eventually become friends and then eventually lovers. This book is really short, so, you know, that makes me a little bit nervous, just, you know, to go through the stages of, you know, dislike to friends to lovers in such a short span of time, and to also get in enough world building for me to be satisfied. Because I think that's a problem I have in a lot of like fae based or like monster based romances. They just don't have enough world building for me, but I've just heard so many incredible things about it, and I do like the enemies to friends to lovers path, so I'm going in and really hoping that I give this one 5 stars. All right, so the second to last book is going to be The Martian by Andy Weir. This is a book I've heard a lot of great things about. I'm definitely getting more into my sci-fi era. You're going to see my next book, I believe, is also sci-fi based. This one is more scientific because we have our character who is finding himself stuck on Mars and having to survive while he waits for his crew to kind of turn around and come back to get him. I hear this book has some really great humor, and I always really enjoy that humor, especially in a high intensity story. I think it makes for a really great balance. So I'm hoping that I enjoy it as much as everyone else, that I enjoy Andy Weir's writing, because I've heard great things about his other books, and just hoping that, you know, I start my Andy Weir journey and that we have a great time. All right, and for my last book, it is also sci-fi, but it's also queer and more fantasy-based, and that is Winter's Orbit by Everina Maxwell. I think I've heard like really great things about this. I believe it's a arranged marriage, and I feel like I remember there was like some good like mental health rep in this, or maybe that was like a completely different book. Usually once I buy a book, you know, I just assume that I've really wanted to read it, so the synopsis kind of just like goes out of my head. But you know, I do love a male romance. I do love mental health rep, if that is actually in here like I'm thinking it is, and of course I am getting more into sci-fi, so I'm really excited that I finally bought this book and have it on my shelves, and hopefully I will get to it in the next month or so. We'll see if my new TBR game allows for that. All right. Hey guys, it's Editing Natalie. I am here at work and hoping I don't get a call while I am filming this. As you can see, I telework, so I'm not, you know, like at the office or filming or anything. But I noticed that I didn't film an outro for this video for some reason. So I just wanted to, you know, do a quick outro for this. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching and supporting my video. Let me know down below what your last 5-star read is and what the next book you predict being a 5-star for you is going to be. And I will see you guys hopefully in my next video. Bye!